And that was when Bell faced his greatest challenge yet. Yes, a girl, all alone, in a hotel room. Whatever shall he do? His greatest threat yet, a girl. I don't know, he's been handling himself really well so far. Maybe the master gave him a couple pointers for what to do in the bedroom. He doesn't look too happy though. Man, it feels like Seer is absolutely speedrunning relationship. There's almost a desperation here. I almost feel like Seer is trying so hard to get everything done before it's all over. I think really, especially towards the later part there, it feels like she is almost given up. Like it's inevitability. I might as well enjoy what I can, get my claws in as much as I can, enjoy it, savor this taste as long as I can before it's all over. And there's so much parallels being drawn with all these heroes of the past that it kind of makes you wonder they might be tipping that a bit too much there. Or who knows? Maybe they're trying to cause misdirection with all these stories, and really the only thing that Seer is afraid of is how badly Hestia is going to want to kill her. Maybe she's realized that she stepped the bounds a bit too much in trying to get Bell, and she feels like after this is all over, I might as well see if I can even get him in bed, because I'm probably dead after this. All the girls will kill me. If Freya doesn't kill me, everybody else will kill me, so I might as well just dig in. But no, I almost feel like it's a little bit too obvious how much parallels they're drawing in this episode. Of course, they get away from everybody. They run away. Hestia, so many great Hestia faces. This girl is just being a goofball. And again, once again, not having Hestia see her. Even when they're literally in that restaurant and she can look down, she still can't see her. Like, they are dragging this out. This is going to be, I know this is going to be my impressions for the entire season, is every time talk about how Hestia, for some reason, is unable to see Seer. Why not? What is she going to say the moment she sees her? Is she going to immediately say, oh, that's Freya? I don't know. We'll see. But no, they get away. They run away. The first scene they have is where they go to the cathedral. In the cathedral, we get the story of the spirit. The spirit has been kept safe inside of this cathedral, and that it was apparently the fairy tales. There's these two, that the hero that makes this pact with his spirit. They fall in love happily ever after. But the true story is that he actually loved somebody else. Loved the saint. And in the end, fell in love with the saint, and the spirit was grieved. Now, it does get into the idea that this spirit apparently got really jealous and was going to kill him, but then in the end saved his life, sacrificed herself to save his life. Now, that's going to be an interesting thing there to kind of draw the comparisons to, is the idea of what comparisons they drawing here. Is the symbolisms here that Seer is a spirit and that she's afraid that Belle will love somebody else, and that's going to cause her to do that? Because in response to the story, she's asking Belle, what if I did that? She's not putting herself in the position of the saint. She's putting herself in the position of the spirit. This spirit got jealous and was going to harm him and harm others. And she says, what would you do if I did that? And Belle says, oh, well, I'm going to obviously stop you, and I'll keep you from doing anything bad that might harm you and cause you to make a massive mistake. And then she goes, of course, into the whole teasing thing of like, are you going to call me a naughty girl? There's a few little scenes in this episode that really did feel like what she was talking about in the previous episode, that so I could be free and do what I want. I was kind of making jokes about the idea of her just going completely bonkers, her being super goofy. She sort of did that. She sort of got into this kind of mischievous mode. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to tell me that I'm a naughty little girl and all this kind of stuff? She really got that flirtatious attitude out there. It was really, really cute. But yeah, again, sort of equating here that she might possibly go into a frenzy. I don't know. I don't see it. I really don't see it, but at the same time, again, it's drawing those comparisons there. I think probably this story won't be as connected to their situation as much as it's trying to imply by having it present. I think the only thing in this story that's probably going to be present is the idea of her essentially seeing him going off to somebody else, and that she's in a different realm, and being kind of fearful or jealous that he might end up with somebody else, that she is not going to be the pick in the end. I honestly don't think she would. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the series is coming to a close anytime soon. I don't think Belle's making a decision anytime soon, but I don't know that Seer's been set up as a love interest in this whole thing. It's always been Hestia. I mean, possibly Eyes, but it's always been admiration with Eyes. I mean, we did get a little bit in this episode of Eyes being, I don't know, the looks are starting to get more and more jealous, and it could eventually turn into Eyes sort of showing that other side of herself and finally wanting to be present in Belle's life. But I don't know. It's going to be completely out of her character, but they did that with Ryu. Ryu was definitely a case like that. Ryu was pretty much Ai's, but a little bit more stern, whereas Ai's is just kind of more emotionless and, yes, peering at him. Anyways, getting back to Seer. She's obviously going to lose at some point, and it's sort of implying the idea that that's going to lead into her possibly being malicious in the end. And that might be. It might be whatever they're talking about here with her true identity and her purpose. It could be somewhere where she's going to be in a position where she might not have control of herself. She might be put in a position where she's not going to be in control of herself. And that might go into that idea of her being some sort of spirit or something that's special. I haven't gotten too much into the lore or aspects, or I don't recall much of the aspects of these, these spirits and whatnot. That could be the direction it's taken it. That she's not necessarily one of these goddesses, but possibly just a spirit, a grand spirit of some sort. So we'll see there. But of course, they of course leave that whole position. They go to this boat. On the boat, we still have more of Hestia just over there, just chowing down, and then watching them from a distance. Have all of the other waitresses there. They're all helping out. Eyes are peering down on Belle. And then he brings up her manners, that she has really good manners. And is she really just a waitress for Freya? And then that's when she says, yes, if I tell you, will it change anything? Will it change your perspective of me? And he says, no, I promise. We'll keep doing these things. It'll never erase what we've, the bonds that we created, and we'll continue to see each other. I really thought we were going to get something there. I really thought at least a hint there. But unfortunately, no. We have to have literally the entire guard come up there and just take over the boat. Little Napoleon boy, I don't know what his name is. He just comes up in there. Little Napoleon boy just coming in there and barking orders. He's got Napoleon syndrome. That boy totally got some Napoleon syndrome. Even facing off against Eyes, that takes some guts there. It's kind of funny. It's one of those things where, like, they just so casually fight this series. Like, they just up and, like, casually just like, ha ha ha. And they just jump off the boat and they go to leave. And it's like, people could die back there. Like, we're just going to leave them to, like, draw swords and clang swords, but somebody could totally die back there, but we're just gonna like, haha, let's go. I don't know, maybe they have some sort of protections, or I thought they had laws against fighting in the town, but I guess Freya Company might be able to get away with it. I might be thinking of a different series though. But no, we get some wet t-shirts here, having some little frolicking in the town, super cute little scenes there, and then leading over towards the Heroes Bridge, which I think the Heroes Bridge is probably going to be a lot more tied in with Belle. I don't know how much Seer is going to be involved in that kind of parallel there, but obviously the assumption here is that they're bringing up the idea of eventually a hero showing up, and Belle's the hero of the story, then obviously they're sort of tipping it here. I don't think that we've ever mentioned this particular hero. I don't recall. It's been, we're going years and years into this anime adaptation. I have not read any of it, so I'm assuming this might be the first time they brought up. They may have casually dropped it here or there, but yes, the great hero Albert that fought off this dragon. Just fought it off. Seems like it just kind of drove it away, and they're still looking for this other hero that will show up and actually defeat the ancient dragon before taking the empty throne. This is the only person that apparently can be built as a statue in front of Albert, because currently nobody will ever be able to face him right now, so they don't want anybody across from him. So that's again, the assumption there is that the hero would probably be Belle eventually. I don't think this story kind of parallels anything with Seer unless... That's going to be dumb if this turns out to be. If Seer ends up being the dragon, let's go some weird direction here. I don't know. I don't know. This could actually be. That would be really goofy. Because what I think of initially when I think of this is, okay, let's put Seer in the position of being this ancient dragon, and that some hero will eventually show up someday to destroy that dragon. They say that Albert drove the dragon from the town. And what was that one early shot that we had of Seer in this season? Was she was standing out in a field where I think is outside of the town. And so that could be, my initial impression was that possibly she's a goddess, and that eventually by the end of the season, she's going to be sent off to heaven. She's not going to be able to stay there amongst the humans. And then that was a shot in the future where she's stuck there, and that the story of this season could be, I don't know, Belle trying to go up into heaven to reclaim Seer and bring her back down so that she could be with everybody. What if that is just her being the dragon driven from the town, that she's not able to go back into the town? And maybe the idea here is that eventually she could get driven from the town again, that she's being kept at Freya's side and that her identity is being kept a secret. I don't know why nobody would know unless it's, again, going to be one of those cases where she is kept in a vessel, essentially. The dragon's being kept in a vessel, and that it could come out eventually. And if it does come out, that's it. We're going to have to lock you up somewhere. So I guess, yes, technically the story can kind of line up to that. The only thing that's sad about it is that she's telling the story as if she wants a hero. Why would this ancient dragon, if that's what she is and she's telling the story, why would she be talking about the idea of wanting a hero that will save her? Save her from everything, have him all to herself, and make her wish come true. And yeah, that could be the idea that she wants him to save her from this fate of eventually, yes, being killed, yes, being driven out of the town, being able to stay there, being able to stay at his side. She possibly fears the idea of another hero showing up that will destroy her or drive her out, when in fact she has no malicious intent. And yes, that technically does tie it in with the first story that we got about the idea of this spirit that could end up doing something evil. If this dragon within her overtakes her, makes her vicious, and that he would be the one that would stop her. So there you go. I guess that does technically tie both stories together. If, again, the idea here in this segment is to make a lot of very kind of obvious parallels. But yeah, I can obviously the idea that Belle would probably eventually be on there. I mean, they could bring some other character into the story that will do something heroic and sacrifice themselves or something like that to one of the story arcs, and then them end up being there again whenever this dragon shows up. But we'll see. But yeah, that all leads them. Again, I'm going to take you somewhere, go to the hotel. She's in there washing off, getting warmed up, and he's in the one bedroom freaking out. Nothing's going to happen. Everybody knows nothing's going to happen. There ain't no way that I mean here for all the fans of Seer, no random Seer is going to be the first one to bed Belle. Belle's going to be forever virgin. This series will end with him never mating with anybody. We all know that. But yeah, I think that's everything. Some fun little moments with, again, Hestia and Eyes watching from a distance. Hestia being a super dork. I love Hestia. I think Hestia's going to still remain. I mean, again, Lily is technically my number one, but Hestia's always like right there next. Lily and Hestia are always like side by side. I just like Lily's personality more and her hardworking nature. Her backstory was super good, but you can't beat Hestia's design. Anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below, comment, let me know if the episode. Additionally, if you're, of course, a fan of the light novel series, I don't need answers to any questions unless it's been in the anime already. Maybe I just forgot. But additionally, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button to get my content. If you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate what it does. Until next time, y'all take care.